broadcasting through the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I thought, what's going on?
By your command. Fascinating.
Damn you all to hell!
It's the Solo Sci-Fi Podcast. This is episode 105 of the Solo Sci-Fi Podcast. I am Coca, aka Michael Ball, on the show again, and I'm joined by a person who knows as much about science fiction as Mr. Kipling knows about cakes. It is Martin Fowler, aka the Gods of Science Fiction. How are you?
Oh God, that sounds cringeworthy when you say
It's your channel name.
I know, but I just cringed then.
Why? Why do you cringe?
I don't.
You're not used to it.
Science fiction, the gods of science. Oh, I'm getting used to it.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm getting used to it. I am.
Well, yes, I've been doing all your graphics and stuff, and you seem to be happy with it, so that's
Thank
good.
you very much. I am very.
Good. So, first of all, how are you? How's things in sunny London today? It should be sunny up there because it's sunny down here.
It's wonderful. I went out yesterday and it was horrible.
Oh yeah, I know it's horrible. I've got sand. I've got Sahara sand in the garden. You know the Sahara Desert, that thing, right? And I meant to take a picture. Actually, if I remember, I'll put a picture in the corner because we've got a table tennis table in the corner. There's a load of bloody Sahara desert sand in the corner where it's landed and it's kind of like built up. So it's really and it's a really weird orange. Oh, don't! It's like an orange sky yesterday.
The end of the world.
Oh, stop
That's
it! That's it.
We're in the summer now.
Well, I know. I'm not going to even go there about what we might be doing in a month's time or something. I mean, I suppose we better just quickly ask you. We won't dwell on it because it's not really appropriate, but just ask you, Ukraine situation at the moment. How do you find it all going? Do you think it's going to? Because there's not been a lot of progress. It's kind of like it's almost stalled with regard to his advances on Kyiv, and it makes me wonder. Well, obviously he's realised that this is not going the way that Putin thought it was going to go, and of course. So, what do you think? Just briefly.
What do I think
about how the situation is at the moment?
I'm not watching it as much. I catch up on the morning.
I'm the same. Yeah, I'm the same. I tend to look at
yesterday. There might be some breakthroughs on a peace settlement. Well,
yeah.
They're looking at it now. Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Yeah.
I think it's looking a little bit more positive. I mean, than it was, but I mean, they blew up a theatre this morning, which apparently had 2,000 refugees in there or something. I don't know. It's all terrible. So I just updated my channel logo with the Ukrainian flag temporarily, just as a sign of respect, and just to say that obviously both myself and Martin are thinking of the people out there. Terrible situation, and that obviously it's just an awful thing, and we have our sympathies. So let's change the subject. So before we started, Martin has just seen, and he wasn't impressed, and he can't give me any spoilers, the last episode of season 4. I can't help it, I've not seen it yet, but Martin was not impressed. Let's just say that. Is that right?
No one.
Because we had this conversation.
They had to do it, didn't they? Yeah, they had to do it. We knew they'd do it, didn't we? We knew.
It's going to be some daft reset or something, I think. Because, I mean, last season you were really pissed off at the end of season 3. You said exactly the same thing, and you're saying that they've done something similar again this year.
I can't. Well, I'm forbidden banned. I can't tell.
I know. I really want to see it first before I talk to you about it. All right. Well, I know that Tilly's in it because I saw a clip with her in it back in it again.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
And I saw an image of the spore drive thing working, even though they're outside. So that tells me they're going to get back home straightforward, rather than.
The ripped off Star Trek the motion picture, 13 episodes.
Yeah, we've not done it as well. And the pacing is even slower than the Star Trek the motion picture, which is always a very slow pacing.
They could have done the whole DNA.
Six episodes.
Could have played it, and no, I can't tell you. I look forward to your message.
All right. I'll tell you what then.
I really do.
What we can discuss is episode 2 of Star Trek Picard from last week. So what did you think of that?
Marvelous. What is going on? What is going on with Q? when he slapped.
Q. I think Q is ill.
Face.
Q is ill. Q is ill.
I think he's dying.
I think he's. I think. I wonder. Do you know what it's reminded me a bit of? It's reminded me of the plague that the Great Link had in the Dominion, in Star Trek season 7. Remember the female founder when we first saw her? She wasn't quite right, and then her skin started peeling a bit. And I wonder that if there's a plague or something in the Q continuum, something similar. Something strange is going on.
Did he change? I'm gonna change microphone.
Okay.
I think it makes sense. Hang on.
Yeah, no problem. I'll just put on some whole music while we're waiting. I can't whistle, I'm not going to do that. They need to sort himself out. But while he's sorting himself out, yeah, it was interesting that Q did seem to be different. You back?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound fine. You don't sound that different from previously. No, I can hear you. He can't hear me now.
I'm gonna sort this out now.
Okay.
Microphone.
No. Okay.
Digital sound. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I've heard you the whole time. Yes. You don't sound any different any time you're doing it. You sound fine.
Yeah.
I think it's your end. I don't
Hello, can you?
Hello. Yes. Yes. I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? I can't hear you.
Oh, I don't know why.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Oh dear, I'm gonna have to. Right, I've fucked all this up. Mute. Stop video. Mute.
No, I can't hear. Oh. Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you. Oh no, that's because I've been.
I love this. Right, just for people on audio, Martin is having a sort of like scrabbling around trying to sort himself out. So do bear with us. Obviously, on the video, it's more obvious as to what he's doing. But he's just picked up his mic. He's now putting in something into the mic jack because I know what's happened.
Can you hear me now?
Mic. Yes, I can hear you. Can you now hear me? Say that again. And now you've gone. Now I can't hear you. Oh, God. Okay. No. Okay, Marty's looking a bit stressed out now, his end. So, like I said, this is an interesting one. We don't have many bloopers these days. I can't hear you at all now. No. Oh, hang on. There's a click. No, nothing there. No. What has he done? What he needs to do is go back to his original mic, which worked, you see. And this is why it's probably a bad idea to change mics right in the middle of recording an episode, because then we have these things called bloopers where, oh, now he's disappeared completely. But you can still see me. I'm still on the show, so it's a bit sort of like I feel self-conscious now. So what do I talk about? I've just got over COVID. I had a horrible COVID. It wasn't too bad, but COVID's COVID. But I'm lucky. I don't have to go back to work till next week, where because obviously you have to have a few days where you're clear from the test readings, and I still showed that I had it about 2 days ago. Right, Marty's back on the screen. Can't hear you. No, can't hear you.
Hello, can you? I can't hear anything.
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Oh, God. Well, it's your end. It's not me. Hang on. I'm gonna try something a minute. Just bear with me.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello. Oh, don't.
Oh, this is daft. Hang on. Oh, I can't do it.
I don't understand that. Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Try the old mic. Try the old mic. Try the old mic. He's putting it in. He's trying it in the mic.
Yeah,
again.
I'm in now. Right.
Oh, can you hear me? You can hear me.
Yeah. Well, just
Hey!
get all that out.
No, it's alright. It's all part of the fun.
Right. Sorry. No. What happened? What? My mixer. I've got 2 headphone sets and a gaming thing, and I've got that mixer, another thing here. And they'll get our streaming deck, and I just had to unplug it. It's going to be a.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay. You just got to get used to it.
I keep meaning to get on my desk and sort it all out and get it organised, but I've been too busy.
Yeah, I know. No, that's all right.
Gonna fucking wires everywhere and that. So I thought I'd plug.
That's fine. I was giving some narration as you were going along for our people listening on audio, but you know these things happen. It's all part of the fun.
Supermarket music, right? So Picard, yeah, go on.
Yes. So I mean, of course, I think that it's very strange because they really seem to fix the mistakes in season 1 with season 2 so far. Yes, it's early. Yes, we could still be disappointed, but episode 2, which really was kind of like the mirror universe Federation, of course it's not, it's an alternative timeline. It's very sound. I liked a lot of it. I like the fact that they were thrown into this situation, they were trying to act their way through it. I thought the makeup and the creation of the new Borg Queen was very good, slightly different but very sound. Well acted. Very impressed so far. It's got a very good vibe to it.
I like the idea that she can see into temporal timelines.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually, I suppose.
The question is, has Q broken time or something else done it?
Well, all we know is something happened in 2024. But did you notice, I don't know whether it's John Delancey or whether it was makeup, but he looked like he had this weird kind of circles around his eyes. And I don't know whether that's just simply the actor because he's older or whether that was just indicative of the fact that he's ill. There's something wrong. But I don't know. I don't know if it's Q that created it.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I just wonder whether that was the actor.
I'll tell you what I found very powerful though. I know you get all that, you can alter reality at a fingertip, but when he slapped Picard right across the face, like really, and it wasn't out of arrogance, it was like Picard was annoying him.
Yeah, frustration.
And you've not seen him like that before. You know,
we've seen
he really slapped him as well.
He's not right, and he did say Picard said he doesn't look well. There's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
So there obviously is something going on, which is we haven't been told yet.
Well, in Discovery, in the first couple of episodes, they said there'd been no contact with the Continuum in 700 years.
I remember that too.
So I wonder. Maybe
I was going to bring that up. I was going
to
bring that. Yeah, I was going to bring up that exact thing. You preempted me because that was the first time we've actually heard that there might be something, and that'd be a clever tie-in if there is something which is wiping out the Q continuum, but it's going to take another 300 years.
Maybe you know they might be omnipotent and that. Maybe this is the end for them. Maybe this is it now.
Maybe it's like the Asgard where they got to the point where they couldn't evolve anymore and they just simply killed themselves off.
Yeah, or it's their time's over and something else is going to come in.
Or it's another enemy, or some
order, yeah.
Could be some rival that we've not heard about.
He referred to somebody, it was the Borg Queen, the Watcher in 2024.
I assume that was Guinan.
I think that's Guinan. But where's Soji? She's not appeared, has she? The android chick.
Yeah, but then she's a result of Data. So if Data wasn't created, then why would she exist?
Well, you do that's a very sneaky point there, Mr. Ball. That is, I'll give you 10 out of 10 for that one. That is very sneaky, but there is the Temple Paradox scenario. I've just made that up to make myself look.
No, that's good defense. Good comeback.
But it maybe because all the others have been transported back.
Yeah,
I assume. With
so far, apart from Soji, we've seen everybody else, haven't we, from the Picard series?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, they came together very quickly, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there is a scene I've seen of the Romulan person that Picard's falling in love with. There's a scene with her where she's got, obviously a trailer coming up where she's got white eyes,
Yeah.
She looks like she's got she looks like she's human, and she's got these things over her ears to make her ears look pointed. So whether that's something to do with the contemporary setting that we've not seen yet, I don't know. And I know that I think that Soji's going to be. I don't know. It's a bit weird, that one. I'm not sure what's going to happen about that.
But it was good. I mean, and we don't get episode 3 on Amazon till tomorrow, but I know it's
That's
online
right.
now.
Yes, I'll obviously see it tomorrow. So
Yeah, I'm not, because I'm going to review it on Saturday.
all right, okay.
I went with Discovery this morning because 14 weeks, you know, I really.
it's such a
can't tell you.
shame. It's
I mean,
such a
you
shame.
might enjoy it. Look, I wasn't happy. I mean, it's just that, you know, I did sort of, I didn't say I hated it, but I did sort of like, again, they've done it again. It's just that they always seem to start off with some sort of
Great
potential
concept, and then
storyline.
it gets fizzled out. Yeah, that's why I'm still worried about Picard. I'm still worried about Picard. That's season 2.
Yeah.
I'm feeling more confident at the moment with Picard, though. I think.
Well, I'm calling it the 5-episode plan. That I think bad, because there's only 10 episodes of Picard, isn't there? So 5 is going to be crucial because it's the halfway point.
That's right.
And so I think we'll get the outcome. I mean, what we predicted about Discovery 13 weeks ago, most of it has come out. We were right on quite a lot, and it's because I did say in my review, which is up now, that a lot we knew, you and I knew where this was going. I think we did quite well. I think there's probably one thing I got wrong, but on everything else I think we did quite. I think we got the outcome of this quite correct. But I'll wait till next week. And
Well, it just sounds to me like it's disappointing that it didn't sort of go. I mean, like I said, I wish I could talk to you about it now. I've not seen it yet. I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah.
But all I can say is from previous experiences, we have kind of had our fears that it's going to go in this direction, which isn't that good. And I don't know. Like I said, but then you like the Doctor Who time loop episode at Christmas. I just was really underwhelmed by it. So I might react differently. We tend to be quite similar with that.
What happened in the Doctor Who Christmas episode?
It was that time loop episode. It was the one where they ended up in.
But all right. Yeah. I didn't.
I didn't like that episode very much.
It went all right, but it's like it was nothing new, was it?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, I've seen a lot of time loop stuff, but I was very
I'm
underwhelmed
fed
by
up
it.
with time loops.
Yeah, I'm a bit tired as well.
And parallel universes to get out of stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not exactly
James
original
Bond,
concept.
It's James Bond, but it's set in another universe. I mean, it just. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, the Solo and Sci-Fi podcast is set in another universe. You know, do you know what I mean? There's probably another version.
I could do a great sort of like parallel universe graphic.
I'd like to see that.
Where we could see each other like, where it's like, I could do that. That'd be really quite funny.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, just to say what I remember, I saw Spider-Man No Way Home. I saw the new Spider-Man film, and I thought it was very good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good.
I thought it was very clever what they did.
Very good. Because it brings in all the other films, and it was done in a very good way. I liked it.
And all the old villains. I thought Dr. Octopus worked wonderfully.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was really good. So, just like I said, it's finally a digital copy is out there, so I finally saw it, and it was good. So, no spoilers, but if you like Spider-Man, any of the films in the last 10, 15 years, then
have you seen the series called Under the Dome?
Yes, I have.
Have you got
I've seen
it?
I have got the entire series in the Under the Dome. Have you seen any of it?
Arse licking mode on. Hello.
Magically appear.
Yes.
Hashtag magically appear. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Be nice mode on. Hello, Michael. How are you
Martin.
today?
Hello.
Yes.
I've got
Under the Dome. That sounds very nice. Yes.
It is. Yes, it is. Have you not seen any of it? Have you just been made aware?
Well,
of it?
I've been trying to buy it actually. I went on Amazon and I don't think that's worth £20 a disc.
Is that how much it is?
Yeah, 16 quid. Yeah, just for one season. And then if you buy a box set, it's not cheap. And
I will say this: the first season to me is the best. It gets a bit drawn out, but it's well worth a watch. Well worth a watch. The other one I've seen is The Last Ship. Have you seen The Last Ship yet?
I've just finished that.
Oh,
24 hours ago.
Are you joking? How did I know that? What's the chance of me asking
I'm not
about
lying
that at the
to you.
same time?
I've been watching I bought the box set off Amazon over a week and a half ago, and I've been watching one disc a night of the entire 5-season series.
Oh, you're kidding.
I am a massive fan of Captain Tom Chandler, and I would consider it a privilege to cover the last ship with you.
I need to see the last season. I've still not seen the last season, but I would like to do it. Definitely.
I didn't know you watched. Honestly, I'd finished that.
But how was the chance of me asking you that at the same time that you mentioned that? I promise you,
that is a paradox in itself.
I've not seen you post about that anyway, so I promise you, I'm not.
No, because the last ship. You say I saw all them online.
It's been out for quite a long time.
Yeah, it has. 2019, I think it finished, and I've been following the adventures of the Nathan James and the crew. From the plague to the takeover of America and to the Rust, Peter Weller, who will direct.
I've not seen some of this stuff yet, so I don't know about the Rush yet.
Right, but how far are you into it then?
Season. Well, I thought I've not seen the last season. I can't remember seeing the fourth season, so I think I've only seen the first three.
You might be up to season 3 then. It's 4 and 5 to go. Very good. I like the last ship.
Okay, yeah. We'll have to review that.
I don't know. I like his character. I think he's quite.
It's a bit like Survivors, but on a ship, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got that.
But he
Survivors
brings hope
vibe
to the world, doesn't he? He brings hope.
And again, the Russians are in it. Again, the Russians are the bad guys.
They're on the admiral.
Yeah. The thing is, when I watch that Rogue Star, what's it called on Stargate SG-1, they have one set of team which are from Russia or something, and of course it's all gone back to that again now, isn't it? Everything every time I see anything with Russia again, oh my god, it's the Russians again, and I hate that. It's a shame that we're looking back on. It's not looking forward as we have done for the last 2 or 3 decades. It's kind of like it's back to the Cold War again. I hate that. It's such a shame. Anyway, look, I digress. Shall we go on about our focus of the week? Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
We've sort of done news now, but we'll talk a bit. It's a bit of a funny show.
Well, I've got some more news, actually.
That's even better. Right, here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
focus of the week.
All right, so this is a review of a show which we have done the original series. I'm surprised we've not done this yet because it's quite a big show. But I think we both liked it quite a lot. Although season 4, we'll talk about some issues with that. And that is, of course, the reimagining of Battlestar Galactica, which I think started in about 2004, 2003, something like that. I know it was made during Stargate was made at the same time, but the Sci-Fi
out
channel
at the same time as well.
So, okay, let's first ask you, what do you think of it compared to the original?
I'm sort of again, do you know?
Mixed
I have
feelings?
to say it's very mixed feelings. First 3 seasons, I could not turn off. The intensity of the acting, the situation, the Cylon thing, and the final cliffhanger of season 3 was absolutely amazing. One of the best series put together, and then we got the final 2 seasons, which were
Pretty poor. So, do you
I
really
don't want to
hate
say
it?
that. I don't want to say the S word, but they were just a waste of time.
So, what way do you think it really went wrong? Is it because obviously at one point they thought they found Earth and it wasn't Earth, and
No, it wasn't their fault because there was a writer. Don't you remember that writer's strike?
oh, is that what it was? Because
Yeah, because they all stopped filming. So, like, when they came back, there was a massive
lost some
writer's
momentum.
strike in America.
Oh.
Lost its momentum, and I
okay.
think they didn't know what to do with story because they set up something so clever and advanced. Again, they couldn't give it the ending that it deserved. It was like Lost. It was brilliant on the build-up, but the end it sunk it down toilet.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even remember how it ended. I know there's one point where they actually do finally get to Earth, but it's like thousands of years ago or something. And there's a scene where we see Boltar in contemporary time.
Yeah.
But it was it was a bit of a strange ending, wasn't it? After all that build up.
They did take a lot from the original series, and they actually took quite a bit from the second original series as well. Because if you watch the night the Cylons landed on Earth, which is terrible,
I like that one. I actually like that.
Well, I do. I saw it at the cinema. My dad took me to
I thought it was really good. Yeah, I don't mind. I like it.
But it is cheesy.
I know. I don't mind cheese.
Yeah, we love it. Yeah, you know, it's cool. But like microwave ovens, all they had to do was turn on a microwave.
Get away from that machine!
Yeah, so all they had to do was you can imagine Cylon fighters attacking the Galactica, and then they all stop working.
Someone's heating up a kebab.
Yeah, making a cup of tea, and you just hear a ting. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Cylon going, stay away.
Your Boltar's there, like John Kalika's now a dummy, you're gonna die. But meanwhile, Starbucks making a coffee at microwave.
At Starbucks!
Just hear a ding.
Well, that's what happened. And in the end, he fired his laser from the in his hands. He blew up the microwave.
Colonel Ty says to a damn it, they've all stopped working. What's going on? As the Starbucks there, I've just made a coffee. You know, do you want one? You don't fucking microwave. You know, we're all that.
And that is how the chain of Starbucks was created.
Yeah. No, on a serious note, in the night that Starbucks landed, what fascinated me was about it, with the Cylon ship that crashed on Earth.
They
took on he said we've now
took on the
form of humans. He said that
we've
now become human. We've took their form.
Oh, I thought they were still mechanical. I thought they looked.
No, they were androids, but they evolved.
Yeah, they were androids. They weren't like synthetics.
In humanoid bodies, they weren't like the other Cylons. So
no, I know. Yeah.
The new series, they took a lot from that. But
I also think Picard is taking a lot from the new series.
Yes, it is. Yeah, definitely.
Literally, so it goes step by step.
Yeah, but what about the new series? I would have liked to have seen Count Iblis, like, you know, the evil, like the gods thing. I know
Patrick McNee.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen the Count Iblis in that series, being behind the creation of the site. Because I think in the original series, there's so much backstory that never really
wasn't explored. No, it was just sort of suggested, but we didn't get.
Because Count Iblis created the Cylons. He created the Cylons. Yeah.
Was that confirmed?
It's officially it's meant to be in canon, because if you start reading, if you Google Count Iblis, he was punished for thousands of years by the light people.
I was going to say that I remember the Ship of Lights. I remember that bit.
Well, when the Cylons originally, they were lizard form, and they wanted to evolve or something, and he pushed them into.
But we saw a Cylon looking more like a bit like a V lizard standing on the throne.
Well, you've seen the Imperious Leader, haven't you?
That's the Imperious Leader. That's what I mean. Yeah, and he looked like he was like.
And we never got any of this in new series, which I thought were a shame. I know they were trying to be different and spiritual and more down this path, but it's a shame they couldn't bring any of that in.
Because the Cylons in the new series were created by the humans, weren't they?
Yeah, they were three times, because it wasn't a cycle being repeated all the time or something.
I can't remember. I think so. Yeah.
Because I think they found Earth before they found where we lived. There was another Earth. Because they went to Cobalt, and then they went to another planet where there'd been an atomic war between man and machine. I think that was Earth, and then Starbuck. She had that piano thing and the map of
the solar heard this tune, and she worked out sort of like told her through the music.
From what I've not watched it in a while, but I
have to admit that's a problem. I've not seen it for quite a long time now, so I'm trying to remember.
The guy that played the dumber, I forgot his name. He was in Miami Vice.
Edwards John Elmos, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
is that his name?
Fantastic actor.
Yeah, because he's in Miami Vice.
Yeah, originally.
He's in Miami Vice. Yeah,
but he is a fantastic actor in.
I know.
And he was ruthless in that. I remember when Gator betrayed them all when he led that revolution. You know, I like Mr. Gator. You know, did the hyper jump thing, and they all got shot at the end, didn't they? He had them all executed, lined up, didn't he? And there was stuff. It was intense. I like Colonel Ty because he would always getting pissed all the time. You know, Colonel Ty. I liked him. And then it all came out. He was asylum with his wife, and
I know. But you like the Ambrosio. He's always on the green
and
Ambrosio.
the chief, and the chief as well.
Yeah. Who else
But-
is there?
There were I think there was that woman who killed the chief's partner, and there was somebody else. There were another one. There were the five, weren't there?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which 5 it was now. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I just thought it was very good. I mean, I can't remember the actor. Katie Sackhoff, who played Starbuck. Do you think she was good in the female universe version of it?
Oh, yeah.
But I thought she was very good in that
just-
role.
A lot of people. You see, I remember seeing the pilot episode get advertised,
Right.
and then I missed it on. I was living in Scarborough at the time, and HMV, it turned up in HMV. So I bought the pilot episode and I watched it, and I ended up watching it 3 times.
Really?
Turn it off. I think the pilot episode is one of the best pilot episodes I've ever seen for a series.
Yeah, it still holds up very well, actually.
The mini-series
Definitely.
of it, yeah.
Yeah. How, was there a big gap between the miniseries and when it finally got its
I
proper
think so,
series?
yeah. I think
I seem to remember there's a quite big. I remember there's a bit of a gap.
Because first season's only about 16 episodes.
Yeah, and then we had Michelle Forbes in it. She appeared as the Admiral of the Pegasus, and of course the Admiral was also in the original show as well. I thought she was quite good because it's funny, we were watching the Star Treks at the moment, and we were talking about the fact that Michelle Forbes could have been on Deep Space Nine, and she turned down the role. And we just thought that Nana Visitor, who played Kira, was actually better in many ways in the way that we think that she acted. Do you think Michelle Forbes was good in it as the Admiral? I can't remember the Admiral.
Anything Michelle Forbes in, she's good.
Would you like to see her in DS9 then instead of Nana
Yeah, I
Visitor?
would.
Really?
No. Nana Visitor belonged. No, I wouldn't take that away from her.
Yeah.
But it would have been interesting if she'd have took that part.
Yeah, it's sort of like you could see an alternate universe where she
But
took
Nana
over.
Visitor was the star in that series. I would not replace her at any cost. But Michelle Forbes is a superb actress. She's
in lots of things. She's
Yeah,
in a very
and
good episode of The Outer Limits, actually, where she's a detective and she realizes that there's this person who's going back in time and killing murderers and rapists and stuff like that, and she gets involved with trying to stop her. But every time she's aware of what happened in the alternate timeline, it gives her brain damage. It's just a very, very clever story. And she was great in that. And that was obviously in the 90s that was made. But yeah, everything I've seen her in has been very good, actually.
she was in Escape from LA, wasn't she, as well?
Oh, because I've only seen Escape from New York. I've not seen Escape from LA. I didn't know she was in that.
She's in that. Yeah, she's in Escape from LA.
She must have been. When was that, mate? That was in the 90s.
I think she left Next Generation to pursue a film career. I think.
Yeah, I know that she, like I said, she had the chance to become a full regular on the spin-off.
Yes,
which
she
she
did,
turned
yeah.
down. So yeah, I don't know. It's a shame that, but
I think she could have been brought in as that character anyway. I think they could have added her anyway. It'd have been interesting.
I would like to have seen her
Nana
at least. Yeah, I'd love to have seen an episode with both of those characters together. I think that would have been
Yeah, I
really
would have liked to.
interesting.
It would have been good that they knew each other and that. And,
Yeah.
But no, I thought as Admiral Kane, she was superb.
That's
You
it.
know,
Kane. I was
I
trying to
mean,
think of the surname.
She was ruthless. I mean, she had her own flavor. She killed them all, didn't she?
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
she was ruthless, and she had that affair with that other number 6, didn't she? She killed her, didn't she, at the end?
Yeah, that's right.
Battlestar Galactica. What I loved about Galactica, it was the intensity, because every week you never knew. It was like Halo. He was the only decent human being amongst them. He had that moral compass about
it.
him. Rest of them, they do what they did. You know, like I like Bolter because he just sell anybody out.
The only thing with Bolter I got annoyed with was his relationship with the Cylon, the blonde, the very very tall Cylon woman. I just kind of that sort of dragged on, and I just thought.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm sorry. This is a personal preference. I didn't think she was that attractive. She's about 7'5". She had a great big chin, and she had bleached dye hair. And everybody's like, "Oh, she's so attractive." She didn't do anything for me at all. But it was literally every episode you'd be seeing him pining over her. Is it 6? Is it? I think she was 6.
Yeah, number 6, Capri.
And I got a bit sick of that. That's the one thing I didn't like about that show. I thought that apart from that. Because I think the name is James Callis, who played Bolter. He was great, but I just got a bit tired of that relationship.
Well,
with those two.
it was weird, wasn't it? Because like we found out the number 6 android, she was seeing him in her mind.
That's right. Both of them were seeing each other in like separate.
And that were a bit of a mind blow. And then it all came out that they were angels sent by higher power, weren't they?
That's right.
That's what they were, and that's where I mean I think they lost out on like bringing Count Bliss into it. It was a big part.
Yeah.
The original canon, you know, and
Absolutely.
they lost out on that. Because I was hoping because some weeks I thought, are we going this way? We're going to get him who's behind all this, you know? Because is there an imperious leader, and they want an imperious leader, were there? You know,
I still think for the most part that it really did give you a lot from what you'd hoped for. I mean, all right, the last 2 seasons were disappointing, but I still feel that the whole show was pretty sound. I still feel that, you know, it's worth investing your time. You know, a lot of shows, they do change in quality, and I, for one, am still very happy for what they did.
No, I am. I just found the ending, like, I found the 5th series was quite weak. Mm-hmm. And the ending, that with Apollo and Starbuck, and he looked round, she'd disappeared.
Yeah.
And then they sent all that technique. Were like they had a society of loads of worlds, these colonies, and they just erased it all that history and technology. They just sent it. I know they were making a fresh start, but surely it would have been good to use that. And then the Cylons that were on their side just went off into space, and that was it. And then we jumped to New York at the end, and we see robots, and he's saying to her, Bolter, the angel, is going, well, they're doing it again.
Yeah, starting all over again, like full circle.
And it was like, I didn't really sort of gel with me at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can appreciate that. I mean, go on.
No, you go.
No, I was going to say, I mean, do you think that the whole show, I mean, what do you think of its production standards? Because I think for its time, I think it's very solid. It looks good visually. You know what I mean?
I thought the visual standards, the quality, the production, the sets, the actors, all of it was first class. I'm not going to knock this series because it is one of my all-time favourites. I mean, I've got it all on Blu-ray, and but I don't go rushing back to it though.
But this is the problem.
I don't go rushing back. Not like I go back to the original series for some reason.
Yeah, but again, you see, the problem is this is a good example of these shows. It's a big arc, and the thing is, you see, the problem is that this is why I can't wait to talk about the new Star Trek series as well, with some news which has come out from that. But that's going to be standalone. If you want to watch these old shows, I've only seen the entire Battlestar Galactica maybe 3 times.
Yeah,
because it's 5 solid seasons, and it's a lot of hours, and you can't just go into season 3, episode 4,
no,
because you'll get lost, and that's what's the problem. You know, the Stargate SG-1 you can for the most part, Atlantis you can, Universe is harder, Picard is again harder, and so is Discovery, because Discovery that's a problem.
Yeah, because it didn't work for Universe, the one big story arc, did it? It didn't work.
No, it didn't.
Where you've made a really good point that with like Stargate and Atlantis, that when you got a 4-story arc or a 3-parter, it worked. And then we moved into other stuff. And I know that people say that, you know, Battlestar is a very spiritual series, and I agree. It's a highly intelligent, it's one of the best science fiction series. It's the Babylon 5 of its time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's Battlestar. It was unique. It was independent. It stood out alone, and it was ahead of the game. But like again,
And
the
I was
ending
gonna
was a letdown.
And again, going back to Stargate Universe, that was strongly inspired by Battlestar Galactica.
Oh yeah, the quality, they copied it.
They copied it very
yeah,
much.
because when
And it
I
failed.
watched, I know you like Universe. I like season 2 of it. But when I started watching, when the series started, Universe, that was the first thing I picked. So I thought, this is like Battlestar.
They even did the zoom in zone.
Yeah.
In Battlestar, they have a scene where you see a ship and it suddenly goes pans in. It copied it even on Atlantis. They just like
and
so
it
making
was
fun of it.
it was like the steps
it.
left from the main
they
timeline.
completely lost what
just got
Stargate was about.
over
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
and it
completely
didn't
lost
work. It just didn't work.
No, I still
they
like
built-
it, but I like it, but it's not SG-1. It's not Atlantis. It's too.
No.
The whole vibe of the show is just too different. You got that humor.
Well, that's what I mean. I like with Star Trek Discovery. Like, I'm not going to bring ending up, but like, well, I don't think 14 episode story arcs work in Star Trek.
I agree.
I don't think. I mean, Picard were in for 10 episodes of this
Yeah,
now.
but 10 is kind of that's almost a third less.
10 could be acceptable, but
It's hard, but
Star Trek needs to go back to 3-part storylines. Start with an arc, an episode at the beginning, probably 2 in the middle, and 1 at the end.
That's
Keep that
why,
going, and then go in different directions.
and that's why I think Strange
And then
New
go
Worlds
back.
has got a good chance. Again with
That's
Doctor
why.
Who, they did season 13 was a 6-parter again, and it wasn't the best 6-parter.
It didn't work, did it? It didn't work.
No.
I don't mind. I think like with Tennant, you got like let's take the Bad Wolf thing.
Yeah, but it's in the background. You can
It
still.
was in the background, and that's what
Doesn't
was
spoil it. It
beautiful
doesn't
about
spoil
it.
it.
And then when we got to the last 2 episodes, suddenly it was Bad
comes
Wolf.
together.
It all starts coming together,
Yeah,
and
but
you
you
got
can-
little
that's fine.
flashes of it for a minute in
Yeah.
the odd episode, and it works.
Yeah.
And that's how Star Trek should be. Now, with what I've had to sit through today, that could have been done in 6 episodes.
Well, I mean, like I said, all of those since it's come back, out of the last 3 or 4 episodes, 2 of them were completely padding. I hated that casino episode. It was boring as hell.
Yeah,
I just thought that was
because
shite.
how many times have we seen the Intergalactic Casino?
But then I suppose, I mean, the thing is, a lot of people hate Deep Space Nine the first couple of seasons because they say it's slow and stuff. But I don't know. Even then, the episodes, even if they're a bit slower, they're still quite standalone.
Yeah,
So it's still more
there's
accessible.
a lot of standalone stuff in Star Trek.
But it's still accessible. It's fine.
Yeah.
It still works.
But I remember when I watched the pilot episode, I was sort of in and out with it. When
It
I
has a
watched-
hell of a start, though, doesn't it? My God.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, good.
Oh my
God,
God! I couldn't.
I thought,
I
oh,
never forget that when I saw Patrick
No.
Stewart as Locutus on the screen. I went,
Yeah.
"Oh my God!" It's like it was
Yeah,
the most,
what an
they-
impact!
oh.
And I loved the pilot episode. Then I started
Oh, it's great.
watching the episodes after, and they were all right. And
Yeah.
then second season, it started picking up a bit more.
And yeah, I just started
You know,
hearing about
then
this
you got
Dominion.
and then the end of season 2, the Jemadar appear for
I know, and the
But
Galaxy
through
class.
the second season, the Dominion conquered our planet. You're getting, and then the third season, my
That's when it
God,
all
we were
goes on.
somewhere else. So it works with that. They did it right, and Battlestar did the same thing. First 3, I remember watching the final episode, that big battle they had with the Cylons, and I was at the end of it. I remember a friend phoned me up and said, "Have you seen have you seen BSG final episode?" I said, "I've just watched it." He
Yeah.
said, "Well, I can't wait for season 4."
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then when we got there, season
wasn't
4
there.
were okay, but it started going down,
Like
didn't it?
losing the quality. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree entirely. But I will say though that I'm really glad that they made it. I think there's
Oh,
so
yeah.
many more pros to the
Well, it's
cons.
coming back.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know when it comes to reboots. I mean,
Well,
this
apparently
was.
it's meant to be set in the same universe or something. There's some connection, so I don't know how they're going to do that.
I mean, again with all these reboots. I mean, like I said, I mean they're rebooting. I mean, obviously, Star Trek is having all these reboots. They've had the Kelvin universe, which is a soft reboot. They're having this, you know, I mean, which I suppose really they couldn't have continued the original series because they got to Earth, so they had to do a reboot. But I still think what they did some elements, as you said, that they could have included in this one. I still think, for the most part, it was a win. And
Oh
I
yeah,
think
definitely. Well, it
know.
won loads of awards.
It did. It was a break.
It did, and it was critically acclaimed by a lot of people. So, you know, and I agree. I mean, I've not gone back to it in quite a long time. I don't think I will, because I think
Again, I would, but it's just so many episodes. It would take me months
Yeah.
to get through it. I can't.
I just,
you know what I mean?
I'd rather just move.
That's why I've not started watching Blake 7, because I did watch it as a kid, and I do want to see it. But there's about 4 seasons of it, and it's got a very big arc, and I just don't have the time to do it at the moment. That's why, if it was more standalone, like UFO is, although it's more standalone. It's got its own
some
series,
connectivity, yeah.
but it's
I know
more
what
you
mean.
can delve into it, kind of thing. And that's
I
what
just don't think I'm into big 22 season arcs anymore. Do you know what
I'm
I mean?
exactly the same. I haven't got the time.
I watched something last night when I got in. I don't know if you've heard of a series called Jericho.
No, I haven't.
It was made in 2005. It's about a town gets cut off from the world. There's an attack in America. 23 cities get nuked.
Oh God, right.
And it's all about life. It's for 22 episodes. There's a CIA agent turns up in the town, it's an abandoned plane, and then the other they're cut off from the world. No, they don't know what's going on. But there's been a big conspiracy with this group in America where they took over the federal government, and so they ended up nuking these cities. This big conspiracy, and then they did season 2 where they only made 7 episodes where they gave you answers to everything. And
at least you got the answers. Okay.
Yeah. So I've seen part of season. Again, it's very actually we're out when Galactica were out. It's very inspired again. It's that very. It's a people drama with the conspiracy in the background. You know where they're all in each other's places.
Yeah.
All that. I can't sit through 22 episodes of that.
I'm the same.
I one time I would have done, but I can't now. So I bought season 2. Off eBay for about £2, and I watched it. I watched it last over 2 days. It's only 7 episodes, but it gave me all the answers.
Yeah,
even though that it has a massive following and there's big investment in the but I can't sit through 22 episodes.
Well, do you think
I can't do it anymore?
Do you think that's partly why?
I don't know.
Do you think that's partly why a lot of modern series are a lot shorter? I mean, obviously, the Star Trek's golden era in the 90s, you'd have an average of 26 episodes per season.
Well, yeah, you would.
Whereas now, I mean, we've got Discovery, which is 13 episodes, I think. And
do you think it's an age thing? Do you think it's an age thing? Do you think we just haven't got the patience to sit through a 20?
No. I think it's the writing. If it's good enough, then it would hold my interest. Now, the biggest test for me will be Andor, which I think is 12 episodes, and you know, it looks good, but I don't know whether it's an age thing.
I'm not that thrilled about Andor, to be honest.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm not like Obi-Wan I'm looking forward to, but Andor I'll watch it. Sure. But I'm just not as, how do you say, with Andor, like it could be good, but I've seen Rogue One and that's all I need of that.
Yeah.
I don't really. Do you know what I mean? I could be wrong. I could be eating my words. Andor could be amazing.
Yeah.
It's like I invested everything in that film, and I know what happens to him, and you know it's all about.
That's a weird thing, is it, following a character before he dies?
Yeah. With that. You know, and then what they're going to do in that, throwing Ahsoka Tano and add characters. Look, we're getting all that in what we've seen so far, and, you know, and all that's going to go into Obi-Wan. And you know, Obi-Wan, I'm looking forward to because I'm invested in that character. But Andor, we're in a film. He died at the end. That's it. We saw how they got the plans of the Death Star, and that's all.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean, what are they going to be focusing on? Is it just going to be like
it'd be about him where
fighting against the Empire?
Well, it'd be about him living up on some nice planet somewhere. Empire turn up, kill his family, conquer everything, and he ends up getting lost and he's got no purpose. Then gets inspired by somebody saying you've got potential, and he joins the Rebel Alliance and becomes.
He's the writer. He's the writer for Star Wars Andor. There we are. He's like a.
Sorry for the spoilers of the
sorry,
new
guys.
series.
Sorry.
Yeah, but that's what they're gonna do, isn't it? That's it. That's what they're gonna
They've
do.
only got so many options they can go because the
Yeah.
character's going to end up dead.
Yeah.
But look,
Now with Obi-Wan, there's 30, 40 years of canon. And what did he do on Tatooine for 40 years?
Plus, it's only going to be six. It's only a limited series of 6 episodes. I know there's some discussion of a potential second season, which I don't think it's going to happen. Well, depends on how successful it is. But at least that's kind of like it's not going to be probably, and it's got Ewan McGregor, who's a great actor. So, but look, let's just round up Battlestar just to say that we are really glad that they made the show. I think it was very, very, and of course Jamie Bamber, who played Apollo, appeared briefly in Stargate Continues episode 1, which is really funny. I love.
Yes, he was in Sharp as well. He was in Sharp.
Yeah, so it's nice to see him. I thought. So yeah, great show. Check it out, and it's obviously available. You can get it from Blu-ray, digital, wherever you can find online. But if you do know anything about Battlestar, you've seen the original series, you never heard about it or tried it, it's well worth your time. It's well worth investing your time, and I think you'll get a lot more pros out of it than cons. So Martin, thank you for that, and I'm really glad that you checked it out as I did many years ago. Right, on that note, I think we've obviously discussed a lot of news already, but I think Martin's got a few more things, so let's hit that jingle. Here we go.
Working.
So in the sci-fi
All right, Martin. So obviously we discussed the Star Trek card series. I suppose my next question for you is that they've now released the first image of the new Captain Kirk in Strange New Worlds. He looks just like Justin Bieber, which is already putting me off him. What do you think of him? I saw him. He looks like Justin Bieber. I can't stand it. And it's too early to release it yet. I say.
Well, firstly, you've took the news I wanted to come out with. I saw the picture. I noticed Robert posted it as well, and I
Hello,
looked
Trek
at
fan, by the way. How you doing?
Yeah, and I looked at it, and I was like, he's a bit too clean and squeaky, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know
Mr. E is a bit too perfect, isn't he? I mean, what has he been in? Is he famous then?
He's been in some show I've never heard of. I know he's.
Right.
He's
he looked like one of them. Them teen shows like Dawson. I never watched it. I've seen Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Or something like it's one of them teenage things, about a lot of rich kids that live in America and they're all got problems.
Those awful shows. Yeah, he looks. Yeah.
We got bombarded like Beverly Hills 91602. Yeah. You remember there were all them type of things.
Those shite shows in the 80s, 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like they've teleported him out of one of them.
With a Starfleet uniform.
In a Starfleet uniform, yeah. I could be wrong. I don't know. Yet again, the guy that plays Spock, I have to say, does quite well as the new Spock.
Yeah. Ethan Peck.
I'm hoping, look, you say I've got to be very careful what I'm going to come out with now, and I don't know.
Okay, go on. No pressure. Go on.
Well, I hope. Well, there's rumours, isn't there, that him and Spock get it off in the past or something. There's been a feely thing. And now I'm not. Look, if it's 2 new characters, I'm not bothered. I do not have a problem. But what I'm saying is, when you've got a character who's got 50 years,
I don't think they're not going to go there. They're not going to go.
Continuity.
No, they're not going to go there. They're not.
Because some people want this. No, they do, because him and Spock are very close and all that.
It's a platonic relationship.
That's what I mean.
It's a platonic relationship.
You've got best friends and you know each other, and you know, just keep it at that. And I'm not saying anything. I'm just going by canon. Yeah, we do live in an open society in the 21st century. I'm not saying that.
I know that
Kirk has shagged his way across the galaxy for 50 years.
Never, ever gone that direction, if you pardon my expression. I do know that there was a book or something made in the 80s and 90s where there was a gay relationship between
Oh
Kirk
yeah,
and Scott.
that caused quite a bit of controversy.
There was
didn't it?
that was the only
Yeah,
time.
I forgot about that. I remember. That.
So that is something which might tie into what you've heard in speculation.
Well. Then if it happens, it happens. I mean, that if
Yeah,
they
but
go
it's
down that
not.
path.
But all right, okay, right. I understand we are living in an open society, and that's not an issue. What I have an issue is if they just do this, and I've said this before, to cross off some boxes in a studio about what they should be doing for representation, just for that sake. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a valid reason for them to suddenly become that way inclined, okay, but it's not going to be that way. It's not done in that reason. I don't know. That's the way I will see it at this. I'll be very skeptical.
And you can't get two more progressive people as us two. We are so progressive. We are. But it's just that there's 50 years of canon on this character, and I don't think they should alter it. I just don't start adding things in just to please. I don't want it. It's not. If it's like in Discovery, Stamets is my favourite character.
Yeah, Paul Stamets is a good character.
And I like the Doctor as well. I think he's cool. I think great. I ain't got a problem. But when you've got an established character going 50 years of canon, don't start screwing around with it.
The problem with Discovery, and I will say this, I think that representation, shall we say, has been slightly overly exaggerated in regard to... Because no, I'm going to say this quickly. Because obviously Paul Stamets is gay and he's got a relationship with the Doctor. Yeah. The engineer, as his wife died, so obviously she was gay as well. Then we have the guy from... what's the Pleasure Planet called? The one that's the scientist with the marvelous thing.
Oh no, Dr. Tarka.
Isn't his relationship with the guy in prison, wasn't that a gay relationship as well?
Well, he wasn't shagging that big-headed alien or something. He was going to say him.
I don't know about that.
You know, my mate.
But what I'm saying is that it's just that the representation, from my opinion, in Discovery, has been overly emphasised. That's just that. Fair enough to have representation, but it would be nice to actually have maybe one heterosexual white man in the show at some point. What do you mean?
Somebody I know calls it Star Trek Militant Labour Party in space.
Star Trek LGABC or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I like to see it's all right. I don't know what to make.
It's very emphasised, and that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I think next week we have to focus to the. We're going to have to talk about next week. It's going to have to be Discovery next week.
Well, we've got a problem. We might have the people from the Portsmouth, the Portsmouth Comic Con. Two of them might be joining us. Now, what they've said to me is that the only time that science fiction has ever featured in Portsmouth was the episode The Sea Devils from Doctor Who.
Yes.
Now, we have covered the third season era of Doctor Who with the Sea Devils, but I'm going to be clever here because the Sea Devils, I know it's a bit of a loose link, they also appeared in the fifth Doctor episode, the Awakening, I think it's called. So
is that the one where they have the pantomime horse?
Yeah, it could be that one. Yeah, the Silurians. But we've not done the fifth Doctor era, so I thought that was a clever way. Well, first of all, getting that era done, because I've been talking about that for ages. Plus talking to these guys, so we'll do that next week. But right. I mean, what I think we should do is maybe the week after we could go back to Discovery or something. I don't know. We could do a Discovery season.
Well, we need to cover this entire series.
I'll tell you what. Let's do the Doctor Who one next week, and then the week after we'll do Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, I can't do the 29th. I can't do the 29th.
Well, whenever we do the next one, when we're both free.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Because it's only a couple of weeks away. I mean, I'll be busy at Easter anyway, so I mean, we might have a few weeks coming up where.
Easter.
Yeah.
When's Easter?
I think it's not 3 weeks away after this.
Oh bloody hell! Where's this year?
Easter's actually really late as well.
They keep changing it every year, don't they?
I know, because it's to do with the lunar cycle. It's through the lunar cycle.
Right.
Let me see when it is.
Oh, is that why they change it all the time?
Oh yeah, so I mean,
right.
what the hell's the moon got to do with Christ being resurrected? I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not gonna go there. Sorry, I'm not religious. I'm not religious, but I don't know why a half moon will make us have Easter eggs on one Sunday compared to another.
Right.
But I think it's because So the next week is it? No, next week we're going to do this thing with these people we talked about. Hopefully, and then if it's the week after, it's fine. We'll work it out. So yeah, Discovery. Like I said, I don't know why we're going this tangent, but it's got a lot of problems with that. But we'll do a full focus of that in a couple of weeks' time, whenever we're both free. There's no rush, and then we can get the poster done, which we want to do. I'm going to do you that poster because I've only got 3 more.
There's no rush. I've got things to do.
But my house is on the market now, and we've got about 10 viewings coming tomorrow, and then we've got another 10 the week after as well. So just to say that we're probably going to be doing a few things coming up in the next several weeks. So we might be on a little bit less often at the moment, but it's just when we're both free. We've got
I've got a stand-up comedy gig coming up, and my documentary's going into this thing as well.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, so
well, in the future, if you would like us to, we could always do a short segment on whatever you want to do. Depends if it's personal, if you want to share it. But I'm happy to feature something on this show just to show it off as to what you're doing. It's up to you. I'll leave it up to you.
No, I've written a script out for comedy about dogging meets close encounters.
Okay, that sounds good.
No, I did. I looked into it. I did some reading. I don't want to come across as being weird, but
no, that's fine.
It came up like Close Encounters were filmed in Leeds, really, because Leeds, apparently, where I come from, is the docking capital of the UK, right? According to Google, right, on Google. So I was writing this comedy out, and I saw
Docking.com.
Yeah. And there's etiquette, so apparently got flashing car lights and all this. So I'm thinking, you're on a hill, with your car light and your window half up, and you're on a hill.
Oh no! And it's an alien being.
Because the aliens, they always kidnap you. And they
think it's a
weird
signal.
Shit to you.
Yeah.
So this is where the alien abduction's not really happening. It's UFO people, mate. They come to Earth to get into dogging. That's what it's all about.
Well, I love the concept already. So please keep us advised about that.
I will do. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds brilliant. Any other news from your end? I don't think I've got a lot more on my end.
No, not really. No, not really. I mean, some stuff like I can go on.
Have a quick look. While
I can go on me Martin's Sci-Fi Peeler page, and I might have posted something on there. Hang on, if there's anything. I haven't really come across much this week.
No, because actually I'm confused as well. Because
I saw that Miss Marvel trailer for Disney. That new Marvel.
Oh, what was that like? Was that any good?
I just switched it off. Couldn't be bothered.
Switched it off.
I'm sort of drifting out of Marvel now.
Do you know what? I hated to say this to you, but I never watched the most recent, not the most recent one, the guy with the arrow from the Marvel films. Can't remember his name.
Okay.
Yeah, I never saw that series. I've kind of got. Now I've seen I've missed 2 Marvel films. The one with the Japanese one, there's this sort of Oriental based one, and then there's this very woke one. There's 2 of the films I've now missed, which I will watch. One begins with E.
The Eternals.
Eternals, yeah. I've not seen that, but I've heard it's awful.
I wasn't happy with that. I was absolutely bored stiff when I went to see it.
I've heard that was terrible. And then
the story writing for that one. Terrible.
But when's the next proper?
I've seen Shang-Chi's not.
That's the one. Yeah, that looks alright. But
it's quite enjoyable. It's like a family movie. You know, Sunday night, get the family around and get a pizza and you're in for a good night watching a movie. No, that's as far as it goes. But while we're on the Marvel universe, William Hurt died.
Oh yes, and of course he was in some of the films, wasn't he?
Yeah, good actor, William.
Apparently he hated science fiction, so it was kind of like
really?
sort of, yeah. Apparently he had a real thing that he wouldn't get into science fiction. Eventually, although Marvel is more sort of fantasy than science fiction, he did end up in the Marvel films as that character. He was. Which ones was he in? I know he was in more. Which films was he in? I know he's in more than one, wasn't he?
Oh, he was in. He played General Thunderbolt Ross. They were going to have him as the Red Hulk or something. It were all planned.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He were gonna because the new Marvel Super Team, the Thunderbolts. I know that they're coming.
He was in Altered States.
Yeah,
Um,
oh God,
and
that's a classic.
now, actually, do you know what? We might have some guests on because the Graveyard Goons, who are these prank callers I'm friends with in America,
I saw
who
that.
made
I
a
posted
massive
it.
goof last night when he fell off his chair. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
They've said that they like the Altered States. So in the future, we might have them on. I know it's a sort of different vibe, but I wouldn't mind doing a review of that film at some point. If
Yeah,
we've all seen it.
shall I buy some LSD then? Because that's what that film's.
I know it's all about that. Yeah, I know, but I might be worth checking out at some point. So yeah,
I don't know where. Can you get any? Because I don't know where to get.
I don't know where to get any. I'm sure you could get some in Leeds though, who went up there.
Oh,
when you're flashing your
cheers, yeah.
lights when you're in your
Cheers,
motor
on
car.
the hill.
On the hill with the flashing lights and LSD and dogging. God, I tell you one thing, you got a great way of promoting Leeds, haven't you, Martin? I'm never going to go there in my life.
I apologise to everybody in Leeds. Leeds is the city of culture. It's wonderful.
Mind you, I've never been exactly
the county
complimentary
of
Yorkshire.
is the doggy capital of the UK.
Yeah, I know.
Because now I've got all this from my stand-up sets. I've got to finalise the whole bloody thing today because I'm doing a tester tomorrow, and just dreading it. It's getting annoying because I can't sit and because I'm out, and there's things coming in, and I'm not getting to do Martin stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually,
So.
Now I think that the people in Portsmouth Comic Con, they said about maybe being free on Wednesday the 6th or Thursday the 7th. I can't remember what days you're busy. I know you're busy
That's
next
fine.
week.
That's fine.
So I mean, it might be that we might have to. I'm not sure because obviously, shall we have a week off next week because you're busy?
No, the 29th. It's if you want to wait, you want 2 weeks off after today.
Well, no, I think not particularly. The reason is I'm going to be off at Easter anyway.
Are you going to miss me? Are you going to miss me?
I am. I love our chats. I do. I think we always have a laugh. Honestly, we've been doing this 2.5 years. It's great.
I'll miss you.
Oh, I'll miss you too. No, we'll work it out. I'm not sure. Let's talk about this off when we're not actually recording. But so coming up, we're going to have the Discovery Season 4 review, Doctor Who series 5th Doctor.
A Journey to the Far Side of the Sun with Roy Finnis.
I've got to get hold of that film. Have a look at that film. Journey to the Far Side. Let me just.
And I'd like to do Under the Dome. I've only caught bits of it.
Oh.
And you've seen it all, so you're ahead of me on that.
Yeah,
I remember the first episode. It had a load of impact.
You'll need to get through them all.
Is it all connected then? Is all 3 seasons connected?
Yeah. I won't give you
So
spoilers.
you can't just buy final season and get all answers then? Have you got a build to it?
No, but also I think the earlier season's the best season, so I would go through it.
Right.
Go through it all.
Okay.
I think it's worth your time. Let's do Under the Dome, but I'm not sure. Like I said, next week, well, we'll do something soon. I'm not sure.
Let's do that in about 4 to 5 weeks' time Under the Dome.
Yeah, I'll do the graphics for that. That'd be another one to do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well
all right, I'll get hold of it. I'll start buying it up and.
Brilliant. All right, Martin. Well, I think I found a sort of like song version of the Final 5, which was featured in the last episodes of Battlestar Galactica. Great show, Martin. Thank you much for reviewing this with me.
Thank you for everything you've done as well.
And I'm glad you like the graphics. Good luck with your new ident and your channel, and we'll catch you again very soon on the Solar One Sci-Fi podcast.
Live long and prosper.
I'll get that bit in then. That was good.